Have you ever thought about van life? Do you want to know some of the reasons why van life isn't so cool, or things that you may have not thought about because van life looks cool in those Instagram pictures? Come along. Let me show you some of the not so cool things about van life. Here we go. All right, let's talk about some of these. Oh my gosh, these are things that I have to admit I didn't really think about when I started van life, and now it's definitely something you gotta think about no matter what. So I'm gonna put these in order of things that bother me the most about van life. And as a solo female traveler, this is also something I have a dog with me, so you have to think about how this impacts a solo female traveler. So here we go. Are you ready? Number one. How much underwear do you own? That sounds like a weird question, but let me tell you what, when you don't have a washer and dryer, you start to think about those things. You start to really think about, where am I going to be? How many days do I have before I have to hit a laundromat? In some towns, it's a little harder to find a laundromat than others. So that is definitely one thing that could be a problem when you're doing van life, is looking for a laundromat in small towns or surrounding areas. So that's definitely not a perk of van life. Number two, I can only have so much food in here. It's a very small space, so you have to think about this and plan. You've got to meal plan or get some staples put together. So sometimes you go places and you are nowhere near a grocery store or a farmer's market. So you've got to start to think about, I need bread and sandwich meat, or, what has to be refrigerated? What happens if your electricity goes out and your fridge isn't working? Yeah, you got to think about all that stuff. That is definitely one of those got to pre-plan moments, and trying to create a meal for one person versus a big family, it's a little different, and it can make a huge mess in a little teeny tiny van. So food would definitely be my number two non-perk. Number three, parking. It looks glamorous. You can park anywhere. You can go places. You can go to all sorts of really exotic places because you're really small. However, the drama of finding parking every single night can sort of wear on you after a while. So I really like Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome. I'll leave a link in the description below. They're one of my favorites because, as a van lifer, I travel differently than most campers. I'm not really stationary in one place for a very long time. I'm more like I travel, I park, I travel, I park. So that seems to wear on you after a while. So that's something that you might want to think about if you decide to do van life. All right, number four. Vans are rarely ever as tidy as you see them in the pictures. They are a bit of a mess. Let's face it, you get one thing out. Everything has to have a place. So if you don't put it back every single time, it just becomes a bit of a mess. And we all know we're there and we try our best, but realistically, sometimes my van is a bit of an explosion, especially traveling with a dog. So you got to keep it nice and tidy and clean. That's the most important thing, because I wipe it down all the time. Keep the dog hair down, dust, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't keep it clean, it can get really dirty really quickly. Number five, temperature. You think, oh wow, I can keep my van at a nice comfortable temperature all year round. This is great. I'll go chase the 70s. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go find the right kind of temperature and not have to worry about a thing. Well, guess what? Sometimes you can't get to the 70s in time, and trying to keep your van at a nice constant temperature can be really tough. So sometimes you get really insanely trying to look at temperatures in the front, look at temperatures in the middle. It could be at night, it could go down to 24 and it's freezing. So that is something that can be a bit of a pain in van life, is trying to keep your van at a constant temperature, either with AC units or portable heaters or whatever it is. That is definitely something in van life that nobody talks about, and it's not as easy as it sounds. Number six is internet. Internet's a big deal. For a lot of people who are on the road working, digital nomads like me, working and doing some stuff, getting good internet can be a bit tricky. A lot of us have, AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile. Some of us have that lovely Starlink and other things, but it can be a bit of a drag. So let's be honest. Finding really high-speed internet is a bit of a pain. And that is something that is definitely a downer, and you miss desperately when you go on the road. That's my number six. My number seven, ready for this? It's nice, hot, long showers. Okay, I've got a shower in my van. A lot of people do outdoor showers, but there's nothing like a nice, hot, long shower. Sometimes you just need it. So I have a Planet Fitness membership. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to try it out. I love them. I go all over the country. That's about the best place where I can get a nice, hot, long shower, but you miss it. It's one of those things where you're like, you're thinking, no, I'm seeing these beautiful things all over the country. Who cares if I get a nice, hot, long shower? Trust me, you will miss it. All right, I hope what I've told you hasn't completely deterred you from van life. These are just things to think about. And, van life is not exactly for the faint of heart. It does take a lot of work. There's a lot more to it than a lot of people think than just getting a van and getting on the road. So I want to make sure that you have your eyes wide open as to all the reasons why van life, has a few drawbacks and things you might want to get prepared for. So hope to see you on the road out there in van life. I'll be there too. And don't forget, every day's an adventure.